So MLB The Show 23 is coming out in a little over 2 days, and that means that we have time to reflect on MLB The Show 22. This was a pretty intriguing MLB The Show game, and I've discussed its weaknesses and its strengths in other videos, but it was a very fun game at times, and I did end up completing the game again this year, just like I did in MLB The Show 21. I have every card in the game. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prove it. I'm just going to go through my whole inventory pretty slowly. This was my second year in a row that I've gotten every card in the game. MLB The Show 21 was the first year I ever did it, where at the end of the year I had every card. And it's the same thing for MLB The Show 22. Now, MLB The Show 22 is a little, not a little different, but the only difference really is my stub count. I ended this year with every card in the game and 4 million stubs, while in MLB The Show 21, I ended with, I think, like 11.5 mil. So that's like an extra 7 mil. I would keep playing like the event if I really wanted to max out my stubs at 5 mil. But there's literally no point in me playing this game right now. But yeah, I'm scrolling through all of these, and you can pause if you want to check all of them. But I have every card in the game, just like last year. So we have a couple more teams to go. Padres, Giants, free agents. So bang, got all the cards in MLB The Show 22. Now, if I just focused on that, this video would literally be enough to have like a YouTube short or a TikTok. So that's not really what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every mode of the game and sort of just talk about my thoughts of MLB The Show 22. So let's start out with the lineups. Now, the lineup screen, there's not much to talk about. The UI is pretty cool, but the lineup diversity, I was watching Cougs' video the other day, and he brought this up, and I totally agree with him. This was the most diverse year ever when it comes to card diversity and lineup diversity. The card series, there's so many card series that are endgame, and there are so many different player cards that you can have. You could literally have 4 different lineups of endgame teams, and they will all play relatively at the same level, which is pretty crazy. This was my final God Squad. Obviously not as good as last year. I just didn't play this game nearly as much as I did last year in the off season, and what I call the off season is basically just when content's dying down. So the off season this year honestly started December. So I have not played this game religiously since November really. But if we look at my God Squad, we have Jimmy Fox at catcher. This card was very good. Look at those hitting stats, 125 for pretty much everything. Defense was silver, has some solid speed. We got signature Babe Ruth, another max out, literally everything hitting. Trevor Story, I really like this card a lot. The middle infielding positions were a little weaker this year, I would say. It could just be my God Squad not having Rogers Hornsby, but we need Rogers Hornsby back. But these cards are both really good. Trevor Story, doesn't have one weakness. Jimmy Rollins, this card was really good. 99 fielding everything, 99 speed everything, over 100 everything for hitting, switch hitter. This card was nuts. Miguel Cabrera, this card literally took you 30 minutes to get, and he had these stats. That was pretty crazy. Left field, Aaron Judge, this was another literally free card. As a Yankees fan, there was no way he was not going to be in my endgame lineup. I know his swing is a little off in MLB The Show, but I didn't really care. I love this card. Again, these cards are all insane. Center field, I had not signature. I had finest Mike Trout. This was probably the best Mike Trout card we've gotten in MLB The Show. You could have debate for this card or the MLB 20 MVP card. I would pick this card honestly just because of the power, and he had good enough contact. Great speed, great fielding. It's Mike Trout. You can never go wrong with him. And then right field, we have Mickey Mantle, who was the proclaimed best card in MLB The Show history, according to SDS. I disagree. I don't think he's the best card ever. I still think Pepe Alazar is the best card ever. Those of you MLB The Show 17 OGs, crazy to think that was 6 years ago now. But Mickey Mantle, this was definitely his best card. That prime card was not going to be topped easily from MLB 20. and they did it. I mean, this card was nuts. Literally not. The only bad thing was the stealing, but this card, you could still steal bases with them. He was the final collection reward for Legends and Flashbacks. On the bench, I had Gary Sheffield, just a pure hitter. Now, I am so happy we have the designated hitter in Diamond Dynasty this year, because if we had an MLB The Show 22, this card would easily have been my designated hitter. It's the only reason he's on the bench. I love hitting with him. Like, he was amazing for me online. But I had to take someone out, and I picked him because of his defense. We also had Luis Gonzalez. Also, I want to mention these Retro Finest cards. They were new this season. They were amazing. Like, these cards are so juiced. Cody Bellinger, another really good card. I mean, they're all really good cards. They're on my endgame team. Vladimir Guerrero, and then Paul Goldschmidt Finest. For the pitching, we have the Milestone Randy Johnson. This card, I did not get to World Series for him because I just didn't want to play the game. I luckily got a buy order for him. Is he still a mill? Oh, he's not even a mill. We have Finest Corbin Burns. I pulled him out of a chase pack, saved me like 300k. Justin Verlander, event reward, another gross card. Jacob deGrom, another insane card. And then Sandy Alcantara, really good card, really good pitch mix. For the bullpen, I think Cougs also mentioned this in his video. This was the best year for relievers, 100%. You got postseason Josh Hader, Retro Finest Rolls Chapman, Takashi Billy Wagner. Takashi cards is another thing. These were sick for MLB 22. Eric Gagne, Evan Phillips, Daniel Bard, Edwin Diaz, and Mo as my closer. I can't not make him my closer as a Yankees fan. But yeah, that's my final God Squad. You know, I don't think this is my greatest God Squad ever, but you know, it's definitely up there. For programs, you know, I think that they're always a staple of Diamond Dynasty, but I think this year it was kind of at its worst, especially with no Team Affinity. Thank God Team Affinity's back for MLB 23. They said that they condensed it all into one program, but it just didn't really work in my opinion, strictly because of the fact that you can't get everyone through the program. Like, you can't get all 30 of the cards when they had 30 players. I just hated that. I was never a fan of the way this worked this year, and quite frankly, these programs most of the time were boring. The only times I was like really interested in grinding for it were the Legends of the Franchise and Finest. That was literally it. Those were the only times that and the All-Star Game too, because I wanted to get that Jackie Robinson. But those were really the only times I was actually interested in this program. I mean, like, the first program with the Faces of the Franchise, I mean, if you were no money spent, which I was not, if you were no money spent, you know, you would try really hard for these cards, but literally by like July, they were quick sell value. Like, these cards were quick sell value by July, so why would you go for them? But I'm really happy that they're adding Team Affinity back. I hope they make these programs better. But yeah, I didn't really like the programs this year, the feature programs. For the other programs, they were, you know, they're always great. You know, the jersey ones are pretty boring. Like, these ones are pretty boring. They never had good cards. But monthly awards also was pretty annoying. I don't understand why they didn't keep the way they did in MLB 21. Like, the grind to get the Lightning player was so much easier in MLB 21. So, you know, like, I hope they go back to 21 for the player of the month. For all the other programs, you know, they were good. Like, you literally can get free 99s for pretty much doing nothing. Like, literally, like, this, I think I'm thinking of this Aaron Judge program. Literally, all you had to do was, like, these moments and a couple missions. It's literally all you had to do. It was so free, and, you know, I don't really have much to say. The monthly awards, I hope they go back to MLB 21 format, but the rest was pretty good. The only one I'm going to talk about in single-player modes is mini seasons. Mini seasons, I've already, I think it's because I won a championship. Yeah, I haven't reset it. I don't know why. But mini seasons was, you know, it was a very good mode in release. Like, when news was coming out, or when news were coming out for the game, it was something to look forward to. But they kind of just neglected it, and it got boring. The rewards were horrible. I've spoken about this before. I'm not going to go into depth, really. Conquest, there's not much to say. You could get a ton of packs, which is always good, but you were mostly doing this for other stuff. Showdown, same thing. And the play versus CPU, I mean, you're only using this when you're trying to tally stats. For online modes, now I'm not a top player. I'm a World Series player. I'm not a top player, so I am a very good player in the grand scheme of the world. The highest ranking I've ever gotten, I think, was like in the 400s one year in MLB 19 or 20. And, MLB 21, I made World Series every season. MLB 22, I stopped playing ranked by like July. But, the gameplay is gameplay. There's always going to be issues. But ranked seasons overall, I like the rewards. The rewards are always pretty strong, except for like a couple seasons. But the rewards are pretty good. The program was amazing. No. They started that in MLB 21. Why did I think they started that this year? But I'm happy that they changed it to innings and not wins. Or, wait, did they do innings? Wait, I'm so confused. It shows you. Yeah, no, they did innings instead of games, I think it was. But innings. They made it innings just to combat quitting. And I think there's going to be a cool-off. Co-op, really cool thing that I played for the first week of the game and then never touched because there was no incentives. Thankfully, they have ranked co-op. This year, it's the same rewards as ranked seasons. I don't know how much I'm going to play of it. If I already have these ranked seasons rewards and they're not that expensive, it is a really fun mode. If they make exclusive rewards in this mode, I will grind it and it'll be so much fun. BR, I just don't understand why I still haven't gone 12-0 ever in my life. I'm a really good player. I can make World Series pretty easily in ranked seasons. I can destroy people in events over and over and over. But I can't go 12-0 in BR. I promise you, MLB 23 is my year. It's gonna happen. If Kevin God can go 12-0, I can go 12-0. That's not a diss at Kevin God either. He's good. He's good at the game. He just didn't have confidence, but he finally did it. I need to go 12-0. I just need to do it. But anyway, events were, they were events. You would just farm stubs through events, and you would farm parallels through events. I wish that they had cooler event restrictions, in my opinion. Play versus friends, never played. Casual, never played. The collections this year, let's start with live series. This was the second year in a row that I did the live series collections on day one. And, I still didn't regret it. But the one thing I will say is these need to be better for MLB The Show 23 just because of the format. The way how it works is they're going to be in the core series, which means these are exclusive cards that you can use every season of MLB The Show 23. So these need to be like some of the best cards in the game because you can use them whenever you want. So I'm pretty sure the captain, like the live series captains that they showed with Jake Peavy and Carlos Pena, I'm pretty sure that those are going to be the collection rewards. It is so obvious if those are the collection awards that Derek Jeter is going to be the MLB collection. If you have team captain, like every collection award is a captain. What do you think the grand prize is going to be? It's going to be the captain, Derek Jeter. Like he's on the cover. It's so obvious it's going to be him just based off of how they've done these cards. So I hope that he is super juiced. I don't care that he had horrible defensive runs saved. I'm not here to debate whether he was a good fielder or not. Just make his fielding like 95. I really don't care. Just juice these cards up because they're a part of the core series. So they're going to be super valuable. For the Legends and Flashbacks collections, I loved it. This year they did 4 collections. Although I will say, the George Brett was a good card for a while. The Andrew McCutchen was a good card for a while. And the Jimmy Rollins card was on my endgame team. These were all like endgame cards. I will say though, I don't know why they were a tiny bit lackluster, because at the time these cards came out, George Brett doesn't count because he came out within a month of the game, but McCutchen and Jimmy Rollins, they were really good cards. Do not get me wrong, but they weren't the best card in the game. These cards should be the best card in the game when they come out. Mickey Mantle was one of the best cards in the game when it came out. So that's just a little nitpicking, but these were overall really good. The Finest, having player rewards for collecting the Finest was really good. The Takashi collection for Shohei was pretty good, and we finally get to use him the way he actually is used in MLB 23. So yeah, overall collections, they were pretty good. They were good, but live series should be better. And I'm talking about the main 3, the NL, AL, and all MLB. They need to be super juiced. Now, exchange is literally like, this is, nobody ever talks about it. This is a pretty solid stud method, but it's just so boring. I think they could completely revamp this. I don't think they are, but I think for MLB 24 they could completely revamp this. Like, for example, with Finest, maybe you could exchange like a couple lower tier Finest and you can get a chance at a higher tier Finest, or something like sets in Madden's. Or I don't think they're still called sets, but the concept of exchanging players for higher players. I think they could do a ton with this, but they don't really have anything here. For the marketplace, there's not really much to say. It was literally the same thing. There isn't really much to change. But for packs, the packs, now they have added they had a ton of theme packs, but they're all the same format. We need to be switching up the format of packs. The chase pack was really good, but it didn't happen as often as it should have been. We only have 5 sets for the chase pack. We should have like 10. Now, yeah, for like the theme packs, they were pretty cool, but it was the same system every time, where you'd have a base, you'd have a mid-tier, and you'd have a rare tier every single time. And then by the end of the year, the rare tier cards were quick sell value. So, I mean, you know, they were nice to have, but I think we should change up the way it works for like pack after pack. So that's going to be it for this video. You know, MLB 22, I'm ready to put it in the rearview mirror. There were a lot of good things, but there were also a lot of bad things. But I'm just super stoked for MLB The Show 23. If we have good gameplay, like if the gameplay changes that they promised are pretty solid, and Diamond Dynasty is more fresh than it was in MLB 22, we could honestly have the greatest MLB The Show game of all time. But we still have a couple days to go till it comes out, and then we still have to wait a while to determine that. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been your host, Nick from Big Ends Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.